Welcome back to Behind the Gloves. I'm Gaz Singh and I'm being joined by Mr. Two Tanks Ohara Davies. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm at the gym still. Just finished, a good workout. So ready to go home, eat, relax for another day of training tomorrow.
Well, you boxing or is it just a little bit of gym work to take over?
Just in the gym, taking over. Looking to fight again, probably June times, May, June times. So I'm just in the gym working. Got to keep my head in the game because I went to Dubai earlier in this year, and I was clubbing. I never trained, and I got a bit unhealthy. And I feel like if I want to be champion one day, I need to focus. I need to keep my head in the game. So as soon as I got back, I've lived in the gym the same way that I was doing years ago before I turned pro as an amateur. I used to live in the gym. So I'm just trying to keep that mindset.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, your social media is like, are you maintaining this humble life? There's been like no trash talking. It's just been straight business, just work.
Uh, Straight business, just work, trying to focus on a few things outside of boxing. Um, it's all business for me now. So, all that trash talking stuff, the hype, entertainment, I feel like I use that to get me where I'm at, but it's not going to keep me where I'm at. What's going to keep me where I'm at is working hard, getting the wins. So, that trash talking played its job. I feel like it played its role and I ain't gonna do it no more.
I saw that on your Instagram probably a couple of months ago. You put up a post saying you're in the process of making some changes, changes that you should have made last year. Is that something you can share with us? What kind of changes you're making?
Those changes was more to like my personal life,
Okay.
it was more to like my personal life, people that I allowed that I feel like tried to use me or their intentions weren't good for me, or even girls, even to the point where I had a few girls around, and sometimes it has to play in your mind. Cut them off.
Mm.
Don't let nothing play in your mind. Anything that is a distraction to your goal, cut it off. So that was on the first day of this year. It was I cut off a lot of people, I was seeing, talking to, cut them all off, all of my distractions, cut them all off. After this year, it's got to be my best year.
So it's been back September now, 6 months since you won the golden contract
Yeah.
final against McKenna. Have you
Mhm.
spoke to MTK about what kind of like who the contract's going to be with? Do you know who your
I spoke
opponent
to
will be in June?
I spoke to MTK. I know everything that was on the contract, but I don't think I'm going to take the contract. No, it's
Oh
a good
wow.
deal. It was a very good deal. Up in America, good fight purses, making a hell of a lot of money per fight, title or not, title or non-title fight. The purses was really good, but I'm just in the thinking process still, but I don't think I really want to take the deal.
Wow.
If you asked me before I turned pro, I would have said it's my dream to fight in America, blah, 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 get a good deal, with these guys. But when it comes down to it, I've been a pro 5 or 6 years now. And mate, I don't want to get on a plane to go out to America for one.
Oh
Don't
wow.
want to have to be there 2 months before a fight to get acclimatized to the place. Don't want to sleep in a bed that ain't my bed. I want to feel comfortable. I like sleeping in my bed, waking up and then going to fight. I like being at home. I like being comfortable. Not only that, I feel like it makes more sense for me if I stay here. The route might be easier to get to where I want to get to. So I don't think I'm going to take the deal.
Oh wow, man. Well, that's like breaking news, man. Like, 'cause it was such a big deal, the golden contract, man. But if you
Yeah.
think it's best for you, obviously, that's up to you, isn't it?
Mhm.
And you mentioned that you're looking to be back out in June again. Any names been floated your way? Anything you can tell us?
No names really, but they got a few names in the British circuit. We got a few names, but nothing's concrete yet. No one's been approached for the fight yet. But I was thinking probably Robbie Davis Jr. If he won his last fight, that would have been a great fight to have because me and him have had a feud line and we have a dislike for each other. And a fight like that would have sold massively. But since he got his ass whooped in his last fight by that Mexican kid, it's a fight that won't happen now. And the fight is not beneficial for my boxing career. I'm number 14 now in the WBC. I want to become a world champion. So, you know, I need to get up in the rankings, and he's not in the rankings. But Lewis Fritzon's a guy that I respect him as a fighter. He's a big name, nice, humble fighter, nice guy. That's just off the top of my head. That's a fight that could possibly happen. Apart from that, I don't know. I want all that Mexican kid that guy that's from Mexico that fought Davies Jr. You know, he's got the IBF International, IBF something belt. So beating him will get me in the IBF rankings. So I just want people that's really going to get me in the rankings.
So you kind of mentioned earlier that 2021 has to be your best year. What does it look like for you? Like, how many times do you want to fight? What do you want to accomplish this year, fight-wise?
I'd like to fight twice this year. 2 fights, 2 wins. 2 fights, 2 wins. Get up in the rankings. If I can fight for a world title, hell yeah. But that's not looking likely. So that might be a next year thing. But whoever I fight this year, I've got to destroy them. And I want to get 2 fights in this year, if possible.
And recently, like, use an expression that you've kind of taken on board now is a lot recently. I don't know if you've been like keeping up to date with the fights, but like the matchroom cards and I think some of the Frank Warren cards, like Daniel Dubois, a lot of fighters who were supposed to win haven't been winning. And obviously, you fought in a bubble. Do you think that makes a difference fighting without a crowd?
Massive difference. Massive difference. Even when you look at my last fight, Tara McKenna would have fought a much better fight if there were fans there. And I feel like going into the fight, I knew that having no fans there was only going to work to my advantage. Look at Josh Warrington, prime example. Look at how we fight when there's fans there. And I feel like people like him, Tyrone McKenna, they feed off the fans. When they hear the fans cheer or boo, when they hear all that noise and they're feeling tired, it gives them a new spring of life. And they fight that much harder. Tyrone McKenna never fights on the back foot. Why did he fight on the back foot against me? When there's no fans there, I feel like these guys just ain't got no life. They feel like, mate, it's a bit boring. It's like sparring. But when there's fans there, they really go for it. But with someone like me, having no fans there only works to my advantage. For one, I get booed into every fight anyway. So, mate, I don't mind them being no fans. You can view me from your homes. And I can focus a lot more. I can concentrate a lot more. And, you know, if there's no fans for the next 18 months, you will hear no complaints from me.
And the other thing I kind of wanted to get your opinion on was I want to take you back to when you fought Vasquez. You were quite open at the end of the fight and said if Vasquez got the decision, you'd understand and you'd know why he got the decision. There's been a couple of other people. I think the Kiko Martinez fight sticks out the most, where people think that the scorecards were just abysmal.
Mate, you know what? You see me, I'm different than a lot of these guys. When I fight a fight and I feel like I lost a fight, I come out and I say, mate, I lost a fight. When I fought Vasquez, even though the judges thought I won the fight and they said I won, I went up to him and I raised his hand. I didn't say that if it went to him, I wouldn't complain. I said, I don't believe I won the fight. And to this day, I still don't believe that I won the fight. But a lot of these guys, like, they're getting gifted decisions where they know that they shouldn't have won and they're claiming that victory. Come on, man. There's some bullshit going on, man. There's some bullshit going on. And I've seen it happen a few times. You know, I've seen it happen a few times during lockdown. So a lot of these foreign guys, they know the only way that I'm gonna get a win is if I stop these guys. And that's why Josh Warrington's last fight, his opponent, he went for the kill. He went for the kill because he knew if I let this go to points, I'm most probably going to get robbed, just like all these other people before me.
And like a couple of fights I want to kind of get your opinion on that are in your division. The first one being a good friend of yours, Akeem Enos Brown against Sam Maxwell. How do you see that fight playing out?
Oh, easy. Akeem Enos Brown wins easy.
So he's stops him?
Oh, mate. You know, I sparred Akeem Enos Brown a few weeks ago. Mate. He's one of my good mates. And in sparring, he can actually hit hard. Like, he's got power in sparring, but when he fights, I think he's only stopped one guy. It's like he's got all this power in sparring, but when he fights, that power ain't showing. But one thing that is for sure, when he fights, this guy is outclassing anyone. And Maxwell, he ain't gonna get stopped, but he's gonna get severely outclassed from the first round up until that final bell. And I feel like Frank Warren's making a grave mistake making this fight happen. Even though Sam Maxwell's old and he needs an opportunity, Hakeem and his brand is a wrong run to try use to get, up there to get the 2 belts. He's got the British and the Commonwealth titles. But them trying to call out Hakeem and his brand, this time they're fucking with the wrong one and they're biting a lot more than they can chew. And I feel like after this fight, this might be the end of Sam Maxwell's boxing career. Where does he go after this loss? Like, because he ain't a name now. And after this fight, it's going to be even less of a name. And he's like 32, 33 years old now. Mate, say goodbye to your boxing career.
And the other opinion I wanted to get is for probably the biggest fight in your division is Josh Taylor against Jose Ramirez. Obviously, you share the ring with Taylor. How do you think that fight kind of pans out?
I haven't seen the other guy fight. I've seen Taylor fight, and Taylor's fought a lot of better names, a lot bigger names, harder names. He won the World Boxing Super Series, and Taylor's had a much harder route to get here. Ramirez, on the other hand, I only saw when he fought Maurice Hookoff for the world title, stopped him quite easily and quite early, but he hasn't had as hard of a route to get to this point. And I haven't seen that much of him, so I can't comment on him. But I know that Taylor is a class fighter, which he's proved with all of his fights so far and all of his wins. But I don't know, I'm probably leaning towards Taylor to win the fight.
And the last thing I kind of want to ask before we kind of sign off is MTK have been kind of a bit under scrutiny a little bit recently because of the stuff that's been said on Panorama. And I like to ask fighters this, but what's your relationship like with MTK? How have they treated you and your career?
Oh, me? Oh, easy. Mate, before I joined MTK, I got thrown under the bus. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Eddie Hearn and my own management team, they abandoned me. I got hung out to dry. They threw me under the bus, even though they knew that I was innocent. They used me as a scapegoat, and a lot of people thought that my boxing career was all done. And that's when MTK got in touch with me. MTK got in touch with me. I joined MTK, and now I'm in the best place of my boxing career. I've never been in a better place in all my years being a pro. I'm about to turn down a big deal in America. Come on, I'm about to turn down some big deal. Like, I would never thought that I would have got where I am now back when I got thrown under the bus. So what I can say is MTK's done not good for me. They've done great for me. And you know what? MTK care about me as a person. MTK care about my mental health. You know, Adam Hart, who's one of the members in MTK, one of my good mates, and he looks after me. He takes really good care of me. Anytime that I phone him, like, if anything, he's like to me, is there anything wrong? You know, if you need anything, I'm here for you, blah, 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 anything you need. Like when me and my coach, Tony Cisse, ended, as we parted ways, I phoned Adam Hart. I was mad. I was like, Adam, this is done, blah, blah, blah. I need to find a new coach. Adam was like, OD, give me 5-10 minutes. Adam made so many phone calls. He was like, okay, you can train with this guy, that guy. You can go out here, you can go there. What do you want to do? And he gave me so many options. And that's when I joined Angel Fernandez. And anything that's gone wrong, MTK has been there to help me. But where I was, anything that went wrong, I got thrown under the bus. So I don't care what they say. I don't know about that Panama, blah, blah, blah. That's not any of my concern. Like, my concern is my boxing, and MTK's done great for me in my boxing career.
Well, Ohara, thank you very much for talking to us here at Behind the Gloves. Have you got like a final message that you want to say to your supporters, your haters, everyone that will be watching?
Watch out for my next fight, because it's going to be a knockout for sure, guys.
Well, thanks, OD. We'll catch up with you on your fight night. And if not, then we'll definitely catch up with you afterwards. Thanks, D.
Oh, hey there, fight fans. Didn't see you there. If you guys haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go to do so by clicking right here, or else.